So Daryl, when making tough decisions, we've got sort of a framework here. We've got a couple of tips that we talked about that are important in, it's not a right or wrong thing. It's a what's the best decision thing. Yeah. And then, making sure that the amount of time that you spend on it doesn't have like a diminishing return, that you're just, going after infinite amounts of bits of data for this. So really, kind of, giving some parameters to how much time you spend on making the decision. Then we got into the stack of sort of the process, and we said, gathering information, understanding the information. How does that information and understanding relate with our circumstances? Right. And then, what are the pros and cons, the consequences of that decision? All right. But this bottom block is kind of the most important thing, and this is our beliefs. And why would you say that our beliefs are the most important?
Yeah. So if you think about a stack of blocks, if you push the top one, just the top one moves, right?
Right.
What if you push like the second one down from the top? Well, then that one moves, but the top one also moves because it's sitting on top.
Right.
So we're talking about the base block here. If we push this thing around, it moves everything.
The whole thing.
Right? And here's what's behind that. The sum of our beliefs determines our actions. Okay? The sum of our beliefs determines our actions. It's a complex idea that we really can't break down completely here, but in a nutshell, this is what we're talking about. If I have a decision, I need to pick either the red block or the blue block, right?
Or the red pill.
It could be a pill. It could possibly be a pill.
Yeah.
If that
one
were a scenario.
Yeah.
So the red or blue item. So I have to make this choice, right? My beliefs about everything that I know are going to affect this decision. So, for example, what do I know about the red or blue item? Do I believe the red item is going to do a specific thing? Like maybe I've been told something about it that the red item is going to do, and the blue item will do something different. For example, if I choose the red item, I will receive $1 million, right? If I choose the blue item, I'll receive $100,000. Now, everything else equal, I think we would probably all choose the red item, right? More money.
Right.
Okay. The problem is I also believe that if I choose the red item, something negative will come along with that. Okay. Maybe I will also lose a loved one.
Oh, geez.
But with the blue item, there won't be any sacrifice like that. So here's what we're getting at here. It's about the sum of our beliefs. I believe I'll get $1 million, but I also believe I will lose a loved one. What's the balance of that? What's the balance of that? It's a plus and a minus.
Right.
So this is what we're talking about. And obviously, it's so much more complex with that. We're factoring in hundreds, thousands, millions of beliefs about every decision.
And they're not just positive beliefs. Like you're saying, they're positive and negative.
Absolutely.
So if I'm talking about the, choosing a gym, I might make a choice because I think exercising is healthy for me. It will help me live longer. I believe that's a good thing. However, I might not choose one because everybody there is like beautiful and shredded, and I'm not. And so maybe I'll feel awkward about that, so I won't choose that gym.
Exactly.
Because I have a fear of insecurity about how I look.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So these are all beliefs that we have. They're going to affect our decisions. So it's important to recognize that our beliefs play actually a critical role in the decision-making process. And ultimately, at the end of the day, our beliefs will actually make our decisions. So what does this mean? Are we just at the mercy of our beliefs, whatever those are, wherever those came from?
Yeah.
So what we want to do with this is understand how we can actually take action on this, okay? So our actions are the result of our beliefs. Well, our beliefs are the result of the sum of our knowledge. Okay? Everything that we have collected and remembered, and the way that we understand that information is what creates our beliefs. Okay?
So some people would refer to that as a worldview.
Sure.
It's like a lens through which we see everything else.
Yeah.
So what do we do if we find ourselves continually stuck making what some people would call poor choices?
Right.
What do we do about our beliefs?
Yeah. So if we want to change the way we're acting, okay, which is really decisions, the decisions that we're making is how we're acting. And if we want to change that, we need to change our beliefs, right? Well, how do we change our beliefs? Well, we need to change our beliefs by changing the knowledge that we have. So we have a couple questions to sort of guide ourselves through this process. So we've got this action. I want to change this action. So I ask myself, what beliefs would I have to have in order to act differently, in order to act this way instead of this way? What would I have to believe in order to act this way? Okay, and then once you have that, you say, okay, well, this is what I would have to believe. Then we can ask ourselves, what knowledge would I have to have to believe that?
Right.
What would I have to know to believe this? Okay, and then we can now we've got a specific task, a specific mission that we can go on seeking out this knowledge, this information. And it may or may not exist. Okay, it's important to recognize that. Just because you come up with a piece of knowledge, I would have to know this. Well, that might not be true.
It may not be knowable.
It might not be knowable. That's right. It could be either one. It may not be true, or it may not be knowable. So it's important to recognize that sometimes, like, in order to act a certain way, we'd have to believe this thing, and that might not be the case. Okay, but at least at that point, we know we've done our due diligence, and we've got a specific task that we can take on. Now, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay, so this final block sounds crucial to everything that we do, and if we're going to get clarity on what we believe about things, that sounds like it's something that takes time and intentionality.
Absolutely.
So, maybe an action step is maybe you've never spent any time thinking about what you believe. You've just accepted beliefs that people have handed you. In order to really evaluate your beliefs, you need to intentionally set aside some time to understand what's maybe keeping you stuck, or what you need. You said, how did you say it? What other knowledge or information you would need in order to believe X, in order to accomplish action Y. And that takes time and intentionality.
Absolutely. We have to focus on this stuff. It's not going to happen automatically, and no one's going to give it to us. This is something that we really need to be intentional about. And we often invest in other areas of our lives. We invest in professional skills, soft skills, technical skills. But how often do we invest in clarifying our beliefs? And I think that's really important, particularly to the decision-making process. I believe sometimes people get stuck making decisions because they're not clear on what they believe.
And I think if we go back to that quote that we had in the beginning, that your actions, your decisions are not decisions about what to do, they're decisions about who you are. And if you want to be the person, at the end of your life who you imagine, that best possible you, then your beliefs about the world are going to drive that. So taking clarity to know what you believe about life and the big things and the important things will gain you information that you need desperately in order to make the decisions that will create the life that you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So use this stack as a guiding process with your decisions. You can work down through these levels of the stack to be more aware of what's happening and to really start to take control of your decisions.